Shalom, shalom, daughters and mothers. Today I just want to share with you on dynamics of finding yourself a helper at home. One of the things that we really need to do right, it is to find the right helper for the house. Many a times I meet women that come and they're crying because their issues, their complications, there's trouble at home simply because of the helper that they chose. I'm just going to give you a few tips that can help you on how to go about it, especially to do getting yourself a maid or a helper. One very important person in the house is that wonderful person we call a helper. Some people may want for clarity to say a maid. Now, number one, which I want to recommend, pray before you engage a maid. Seek the face of the Lord. Seek the counsel of the Lord. Allow the Lord to direct and to lead you to the correct person. Even the Bible in Psalm 127, it says, unless the Lord build a house, they labor in vain, those who build. Unless the Lord watch over a city. It is a very important part of your life to entrust the Lord with the person that you'll be living around, the person that you'll be living with, our own helper. So number one, pray. After praying and you start the process of looking for the maid or the helper. Number two, very important, do due diligence. Don't just pick, don't just be desperate. You know, sometimes you just want someone at home helping you around, you want someone around the kids, and you're so desperate because you need to go to the office. You need to do it right the first time so that you don't have challenges in the future. Do due diligence. What am I talking about? Look out for their references. Where are they coming from? Why did they leave? What is their name? Who is their next of kin? Be very worried about these things. Call their next of kin. This person may just wake up and they collapse on you, or they are sick, or there's an emergency. Who do you contact? You need to know somebody they are connected to by relation, whether by blood, by marriage, or whichever way. That's due diligence. You need to know their previous employer, if they have any. Do the right thing. Call that previous employer. Understand why they left at their previous employer, because sometimes these helpers, they come with all kinds of stories, and before you know it, sometimes you can run into unnecessary trouble. Some things you may need to know their age, know their preferences, know their where they stand in terms of their faith, because you do not want somebody in your space and they are worshiping a foreign god and you are worshiping the true and living God. I understand and I agree there's a place for soul winning, for evangelism, for reaching out, for telling someone and introducing someone to Jesus Christ as their personal savior. But you need to understand, very important. Number three, if you decide to take in this helper in your house, the very important time, most important and critical time, it is the contractual time. What are your terms of reference? What are your terms of agreement? Agree on things to do, like remuneration, their salary, their off days, their ins and outs, your expectation, their expectation. I want you to understand, it's not you only who has the expectation. They also have expectation. They're expecting a salary. They want a comfortable place where they're working, a place where they can call their second home. So there has to be agreement. You do not want it's month end, you start having some fights with your maid. How much are they going to get? How they are going to be paid? Agree right at the beginning. You do not want it's a weekend, you are fighting with your maid. They want to go off to their off and you want to go to work and there's no one to have the children at home with. Agree on these things. what times, which days, how much salary. This is very important, so that as the time progresses, you can always go back and refer and say, but we agreed on such. I understand the dynamic of being flexible. Sometimes your maid may have a need. It's not their off day, but they really need some time off. You can be flexible to allow them, or you can have an unforeseen situation which may demand that you ask for the permission of your maid for them not to go to an off. This is like on your own understanding, but I keep saying, when you do it right, you have very few challenges sometimes. I spoke earlier on about due diligence. I need to go back again to that one. You need even to look at their ID. Look at the ID. Some people, they move around with fake IDs. The next thing, they bring in criminals or thieves or robbers in your house. You need also sometimes to do a police clearance. Sometimes criminals are now, in this day and age, working with people that we employ in our houses, and some people can lose their hard-earned cash. So these are some of the things that you may need to do when it comes to your maid. Don't just assume that because they worked for person A and B, they know what they are doing. Each house is unique, is dynamic to itself. Your likes may be different from the likes of a different employer. So if possible, go through an induction process with your maid. Show them how you want your things done, how you want your house cleaned, how you want your meals prepared, if they're going to prepare a meal, if they're going to look after the child, what your expectations are. If possible, take 1, 2, 3 days off from work and go through with them the whole process. It can make your life very easy. Also, if possible, draw up a timetable for your maid. Don't just have a maid guessworking that today we are doing windows, tomorrow we are doing cupboards. No, have things that are well mapped out, well spelled out. It removes unnecessary pressure. Right. Also set some boundaries right at the beginning. Let them know how far they can go, which rooms they can have access to. Knowing your own self, your own dynamic. You may be that person, you say to your maid, my bedroom is my private space, it's a no-go area. Tell them that, so that they don't trespass. That is very critical. Let them know their boundaries. Maybe that when they are dealing, say, with the father of the house, I've taught my helpers that the father of the house is the father of everyone, including them. There is no room for relationship that is flirtatious, if I may say. So these are things that may need to be explained. Sometimes I've seen maids that start becoming too comfortable, say with the husband's relatives. They become too forward. Sometimes just need to help put them in their lane. So at agreement and contractual level, as you take them in, you need to understand some of these things. One thing that I find very helpful, especially with a maid, get time to pray together, get time to read the word together, take time for evaluation every now and again. Just take time just to tell them you are doing well, compliment them, pat them on the back, give them these small bonuses if you can, just to encourage them, incentives, make it a win-win situation. Don't always be looking for a fight. Be understanding, be forgiving, but where necessary, be strict. Show the maid. Sometimes there are things that you just do just to show them that I'm still the mother in the house. Like, when your things are organized, let them know Mondays it's fish day, Tuesday it's chicken, Wednesday it's beef, Thursday it's beans. Of course, we allow them to use their brain, to use their discretion. The longer you stay with them, they blend, they mesh, they now understand your likes, the dynamics of the house. But as they start, at least give them that opportunity to know this is why they are here. This is what is expected of them. When you do due diligence, when you pray, when you train, when you induct, when you give incentives, when you make it a win-win, when you don't treat them like a stranger or an outsider, you make them part of family. I found these few tips to be very helpful when you are having a maid or a helper at home. Keep praying, keep praying. It's a lifelong forgiveness. Some of them, you show them so much kindness, but some of them can really hurt. It will take you to have this heart of forgiveness and giving a second chance. God bless you. I wish you a very pleasant relationship, you and your helper. Shalom, shalom. Bye for now.